download. It's going to be in the chat, and it's going to come in a little bit in the midst of our sharing tonight from our person who's going to give their testimony. And I have the honor to introduce to you our speaker tonight. And her name is Bethany Stewart, and she is married to Jared, who's also on the Zoom as well. He's the one with the big beard that they're having controversy over in their home. They've been married for 20 years. They have 5 kids. Ages range from 11 to 18. They've been involved in student ministry for over 20 years, and they're super involved with their local community. And recently, congratulations to both of you becoming new directors in Shackley. And I do believe it all started with a pretty powerful health testimony. So we'd like to hear your journey to being a director in Shackley and hear where you plan to go.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super excited that I get to share our story. I really love any opportunity I get to share our story, because what Shackley has to offer has been transformational for our family. And I did not see that coming. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind of the last 9 months with Shackley and our family. And so I kind of just wanted to take you along for a ride on our timeline, so you could get just a really good picture of our story and where we were at and what we've experienced. And it all started in February, this last February of 2020. I was sitting in a podiatrist's office with my 13-year-old daughter, just turned 13. She had just had her second foot surgery 6 months prior to that. And we were sitting in his office because I wanted to know why she was still experiencing the same amount of foot pain that she had before that second surgery. So it had been 3.5 years of chronic foot pain that my daughter had been going through. She had had 2 surgeries. She had spent multiple weeks in casts and boots. She had been going in for laser treatments. She had multiple recovery times that were painful. She got to the point where she was no longer able to compete in sports. The pain was just too much. And so here we were sitting in the doctor's office, and I said, "Is this normal? Do we need more time for her to heal?" And he said, "I don't know." And he looked at her x-rays and he said, "You know what? Her foot structurally is fine. There's nothing else I can do. And I'm not touching the other foot because clearly what I'm doing is not working." He said maybe there was something metabolic going on, or maybe we needed to consider an autoimmune something. But he could not answer the question of why is Lydia still experiencing pain and inflammation every day. So Lydia and I left that office both pretty discouraged that day, pretty frustrated as her mom. Watching her go through that journey over the last 3.5 years, I saw incredible growth in her and development of character, strength of character, really amazing things that God used to change her during that time. And I am thankful for that. But in that moment, I was also not willing to say, well, I guess you're just going to have to learn to live with it because I don't know what to do. That just wasn't an option. So my mind started thinking nutrition. I reached out to my friend Bonnie Hershey. She has been involved with Shackley for over 25 years, but I was thinking nutrition. So I went to her feeling really overwhelmed and thinking that I needed to make some drastic nutritional changes because maybe my daughter had some really obscure allergy that was causing all of the inflammation and pain. So I talked to her about that, and she validated my feelings. She is exactly what I needed in that moment. She was so encouraging. And she affirmed that, yes, making nutrition changes is always a great idea. But she said, if change quickly is what is important to you, and it was, she recommended not only making nutrition changes, but adding smart supplementation to that. And she said that she believed we could start seeing change in Lydia's pain within a month. And I said, okay, I was a little skeptical, but again, at that point where something needed to change. And this was the next option. I trusted Bonnie. I knew she knew what she was talking about. I knew that she cared about me and my daughter. And so that's what we were going to do. Jared and I decided, yep, this is the next step that we're going to take. So we had Bonnie and her husband Brian over, and similar to the wellness assessment that's going in the chat, we filled one out for Lydia, more geared towards kids. And it was interesting that during that time, we learned a couple of things. One, she was actually underweight. And two, there were quite a few things on that list that I could check off for our 15-year-old son. And so we decided, you know what, let's look at this too. Our son was experiencing a lot of different symptoms that I thought were completely unrelated to each other. I chalked some up to hormones. I chalked some up to just weird 15-year-old boy things that I didn't get. But there were so many things on this list that I started realizing, wow, he deals with this and he deals with this and this doesn't seem normal. So we really took March to, oh, we're screen sharing. We really took March then as our month where we buckled down and we started making some changes. We figured out a Shaklee regimen for Lydia that targeted her whole little person. It wasn't just about the inflammation in her feet, but it was about laying the groundwork for a really solid foundation for her. And then we looked at what Ezra was dealing with and realized that we were looking at a pretty serious candida overgrowth in his gut, which just means really unhealthy gut. And so in March, we also decided we need to do that. We need to tackle that. And so we got him on a Shaklee regimen, which included a pretty intense cleanse for 30 days that we did with him. During that 30 days, though, we also used Shaklee supplements to kill the candida, to also grow healthy bacteria in his gut, and to help heal his gut. So March was kind of a big deal for us. There was a lot of new, a lot of change, and I'm so thankful for Bonnie. She walked with me each step of the way. She was available, answering my questions. It was fabulous. Within that 30 days for our son Ezra, we saw all of his symptoms disappear. Just gone. It was pretty incredible. And to this day, here we are in December, he still is symptom free. And I am so thankful that we were able to heal his gut and turn that around. And he is healthy, not dealing with all of these, pains in his legs and sores in his mouth and any kind of cramping, swollen glands, things that had become normal for him, which are now completely out of the picture. Our daughter, Lydia, in that first month, while we were on a cleanse, Jared and I both lost like 10 pounds because of what we're not eating. Our daughter on this soy protein gained 10 pounds in a month. And a facet of her pain in her feet disappeared. And the first time she said, hey, these waves of pain in my feet, I haven't had those in a while. We did like a little happy dance. We were so excited that within a month there was marked change. It was so exciting. So here comes April, and another facet of her pain is gone. And she had been having pain every time she woke up in the morning and put her feet down and walked away. Like her Achilles tendons were hurting. Like she just couldn't get out of bed without pain. And in April, she realized that wasn't happening anymore. And it was another celebration. Like, this is amazing. This is actually working. This is phenomenal. It's not what we expected. In April, I also realizing how impactful Shaklee was being on our family, like all this change we were seeing and how excited we were. I realized that Bonnie kept giving me the opportunity to share our story and invite more people in. And I realized that was something that I wanted to do. And so in April, I decided to just start sharing with people and see if I could make an income that would cover the supplements that we were using and all the new supplements that I wanted to try, because I was getting more and more excited about this company and what they had to offer. So I started my business journey with Shaklee in April and just started inviting people to take a look and see what Shaklee had to offer them. In June, by the time June rolled around, Lydia's foot pain was completely gone. And she came to me one day, she's like, Mom, I don't even remember the last time my feet hurt. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, this is amazing. 0 foot pain after 3.5 years of pain every day, like just incredible. And her whole spirits, like she was so encouraged. She was so excited. She continued to gain healthy weight, and I started watching her fill out in front of me, just thriving, and her body soaking up all of the nutrients that we were giving to her. And it was just, as her mom, it was so fun to watch her go through that transformation. In June, we also, our youngest son is medically complex. He has quite a few things that he deals with. He's immune suppressed. He's got weaknesses that other people don't. He just deals with a lot. And here we are kind of in the middle of this COVID stuff in June, right? And I'm starting to think, my husband and I are thinking, we need to do everything we can to make him as strong as possible. And we need to do everything we can to start building into his health, because there are no guarantees. And we've had so many positive experiences with Shaklee up to that point that I knew that that was the right thing for him and the best way to build into his health and make him as strong as he could be. In June, I was also looking ahead to the fall for him. Fall and spring is typically really difficult for him, and we usually can't get through either of those seasons without breathing treatments of albuterol. He just struggles with upper respiratory things and sinus things. And so I was a little like, well, let's put this to the test and let's just see if we start working on, laying this foundation now and start building into his health now. Let's just see what happens in the fall. July came around and I made a firm decision. In July, I decided that because of how excited I was about Shaklee, because of this team of people that was coming around me, encouraging me, challenging me, cheering me on, I decided, okay, I want to do this. I'm going to set some goals and I'm going to go for it because I'm excited and I want other people to experience this kind of transformation. I want other people to know what this company has to offer because it's pretty extraordinary and it works. So I made that decision in July. I wanted to be a director by September. And so I just started working in that direction. And again, Bonnie just started coaching me, and just this incredible team of people all the way up were cheering me on. And I found this really amazing community of people to be a part of that, again, I didn't anticipate, but I'm so thankful for. In July, I also decided that I set a health goal for myself. I have been on an antidepressant medication for over 8 years. I have tried to get off of that 3 times, and you can ask Jared, it's not gone well once. And so I made that a goal for myself. I want to get off of this. It's not good for my body. I don't want it. And so I set that goal for myself. Lydia also started running in July, right? This girl of mine who had been dealing with all of this foot pain, she started running 4 miles every morning. I don't get it. I'm not a runner, but she was out there loving it. So she decided to run cross country in junior high this last fall. And she is a born runner. We actually call her the hill eater because she loves hills and she eats them for breakfast. Her face just lights up. It's amazing. So she ran cross country, and she actually qualified for the state competition in Western Nebraska this October and took 8th at state. So that is just a huge, huge win for her. And she has coined the phrase Shakleet. It's like a Shaklee athlete. She loves to call herself a Shakleet. And we love to say that she is powered by good nutrition and Shaklee. And that girl just you can't stop her now. So here we are again, like I said, in December. And like Chris said, I'm super excited that Jared and I did make director by September. We did reach that goal, and that was really, really exciting for us. And so exciting to have so many people within the Shackley community celebrate with us and celebrate us and come around and just encourage us. And that community has meant so much to us in this time when community just means a lot, because we're more isolated than ever. And I am super excited that on January 1st, I will no longer be on an antidepressant. My step down using Shackley supplements has been incredibly successful. In October, when Jared and I decided to do the Prove It Challenge, we did that Prove It Challenge, and then it's like every month is just better. We just keep feeling better sleep. I mean, I'm sleeping. I feel like I haven't slept in 18 years. That's how old my oldest son is, right? Like I haven't slept in 18 years. I'm sleeping, and we have more energy and improved mood. And I mean, there's just so many side benefits. And so that is just super exciting to me to reach that goal for myself, which also impacts my family, because depression is hard to live with. So I'm super excited about that. And just the two things that I just wanted to wrap up with is, one, that Jared and I are more excited than ever about this company and about what they have to offer and the transformation that our family has experienced and is experiencing the further we go along. And I just feel like we're set up for success all the time. You know, my kids who are competing in sports, they're set up for success with optimal health and supplements that help them perform at their best. And with the mental health things and the other health issues that we're dealing with. And oh my gosh, I forgot to say, cold and flu season for Judah. This is the healthiest cold and flu season he has ever had. We haven't had a sniffle. That's pretty incredible. So you could see the people cheering that know him. That is a big deal. So that's one thing, just our excitement and our passion as we develop our own vision for our business with Shackley, our own vision for helping other people, reaching other people and helping them to transform their health and experience that kind of powerful change, both physical and financial. And the other thing I really just wanted to end with was, again, just saying that to be a part of this team and this community, what is so extraordinary about it is being a part of a group of people who their vision and their mission really is about people. And the financial potential, the growth potential is absolutely there, and it is extraordinary. And people, I mean, that's a real thing, but that's not the thing. And I'm impressed by that more and more as I get to know more people throughout Shackley, their heart for others and their heart for just total wellness, and their heart to see other people be well. So thank you again for letting me share my story.
Awesome job. I'm going to do something, because sometimes on the Zoom, if we were in a room together, you would hear all the applause. It looks like someone's sharing the screen on here. So Carl, if you could not share the screen, that would be great. But I'm gonna ask you all to do something while Carl, thank you. Unmute your mics and just give some verbal affirmation to Bethany and Jared.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Woo.
Amazing. Awesome. Way to go.
Very
Keep it up.
And I have a question for you, Bethany. I said something in the beginning about, where do you see yourself going in Shackley?
All the way. My next goal, my next big goal is senior executive coordinator by July.
Okay,
so that
awesome.
would be for me, that would be like a full-time gig.
What's that going to mean for you and your family, for you to be at that position?
Man, I've never had a full-time income since we've been married. And so to think about the all of the extra that provides is it's pretty fun to think about. That means a car that runs well and reliably.
It's gonna be a free car.
Yeah, but honestly, I've been thinking more about it, when I look, and I've been thinking more about it like numbers of people. So by the time I reach that, like, how does that translate? What number of people does that translate into that have been impacted by Shackley? And I think at that point, it's like hundreds. So that's pretty cool to think about.
Incredible. That's awesome. And I had one more question for you, Peter. Just so you know, you're sharing your screen again with us. Well, Bethany, you're a newer director, and there's people on this call who are where you were on the pathway to director. What advice would you give to them? Those who are looking to qualify as a business leader in Shackley. Most of them are focusing on senior coordinator as their first spot. What would you tell them?
The two biggest things for me have been making my decision, like, this is what I am going to do. Actually, there are three things. Telling myself, my thoughts have had to change a lot. Telling myself, I can do it. I can do this. I can do it. And then consistent coaching every week. I have got weekly coaching with a couple of different people who are ahead of me. And that's been that. I don't know how to do it any other way. I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for sharing. Everybody, why don't you give her some more affirmation? Go ahead and open those
Nice
mics
job,
and
Bethany.
say it again.
Good job, Bethany.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bethany.
You're a
Thank
rock
you.
star, Bethany.
You're gonna do it.
Thank you.
Very good. You rock, girl. You rock.
And
Thank you.
now it's time that I give you something into the chat. For those of you who are new, you're going to see the wellness assessment pop up in there. Go ahead and click on that and download that. That's going to be your first step. Go ahead and print that out and begin to fill it out and see what it reveals. And then the person who invited you is going to follow up with you right away and begin to have a conversation with you about what that reveals and what that looks like as a starting point in Shackley. And number two, I want to let you know, you're hearing a little bit about the support. Bethany's mentioning this supportive team, this community. There are things in place to help you succeed. If you venture into this, I should say when you venture into this, you're not going to be alone. And there's going to be incredible support and a clear path for you to succeed. In fact, this Saturday is our new business leader orientation. We do it once a month. This would be the perfect thing for you as a new person to be part of. It's going to be on Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern time through noon. You're going to get 3 hours of really everything the whole framework you need to know about to embark in this business. And then we have these calls on Monday night, so you can continue to hear how we share Shackley and hear powerful stories like you heard from Bethany. But just as important as you showing up to hear is that the opportunity we create for you to invite people to come in and hear these incredible stories. And then our teams also do a weekly training during the week as well. So there's so much help here for you. And someone in the chat's asking, same Zoom ID and password for Saturday? Yes, it's the same Zoom ID and password, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time through noon. It's well worth your time to come on there and be part of that and learn more about how to be successful in Shackley. Okay, with that, I think we're going to close up the night. I want to thank each one of you for coming on. Lisa, I want to thank you again for sharing. You did an awesome job. as always. And Bethany and Jared, thank you for sharing your story with us tonight. And I hope you guys get the beard figured out. Whether Jared gets to keep the it's kind of a thing, Bethany, to have a beard like that. And I think you should let him do it. But I don't know.
I know. He has it, doesn't he? I have not said don't. I don't want to be that girl. You know, it's good.
We'll see next week what happens to Jared's face. So, all right.
Bethany to introduce